pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, good morning, everybody, and thank you for hanging out with us today on this, the seventh episode of Season 2. And it's going bad. Hey, look, my brother's about ready, and quite frankly, so am I. So, without any further ado, my name is Chris Williams, and you're listening to the Constitution Commandos. I don't know, somebody mentioned it to me, or if I saw it on a news clip or something, but have you heard anything about the House proposing a bill that has to do with anybody in politics, has any investments or ties with anything to do with communist China will lose their seat in office? Have you heard anything about that?
I've heard something about it, but uh, well, and that might be in the bill. I mean, I think what I heard was they had to divest. They had to. They couldn't have any ties. Period. Subsidiary of China or not.
Yeah. Well, I know Kevin McCarthy had talked at one time about trying to get a bill pushed through that would prevent China from buying land in America.
Yeah, that needs to go through. There's actually a few states that are pushing that too.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, but that definitely needs to stop. And I'm a little bit furious about this spy balloon that got shot down over the Atlantic. Not because it made it all the way across the country, but because I found out yesterday or day before yesterday that this has been going on for 5 years.
Well, we don't know how much of that's accurate.
Well, I'd say it's pretty daggone close to accurate, considering we let a spy balloon fly from the Pacific coast all the way over to the Atlantic waters before shooting it down, only because it was called in by a civilian. Now, that's ridiculous.
Well, I've got a couple theories on these balloons. None of them are backed up with anything. My opinion. I mean, all it is. My theories. One, first theory. I don't look. Our administration tells us constantly that that was a Chinese spy balloon. Do we know that to be 100% factual? I mean, do we?
No, we don't know that to be 100%
Okay.
factual, but we do know it was a Chinese balloon. So that says it's got,
Well,
I mean, they weren't
well,
over here shooting movies from the sky.
well, no, that's what I'm saying. Do we know that that is factual, that that was a Chinese balloon?
Not really. No.
Okay. Now, this is my theory. Nobody was hearing jack shit about any types of balloons until that first one that went all the way across America. You have to bear with me. I should still have communications. But okay, now this is my theory. Hear it out. The first balloon came over. I think they let it cover the span of the continental U.S. for a couple reasons. Number one was so that the majority of people in this country would be made aware of it. Okay. Now, when the majority of the country was made aware, then they started pushing this bullshit story about, oh, it's a Chinese spy balloon. I'm not saying the story is bullshit. It might be.
All right.
But with Joe being bought and paid for by China, that still fits in line with what I'm saying. All right. We know the deep state is running the political class in America and almost every government around the world.
Yep.
All right. Now, they've already developed a level of anger and outrage from the American public about this balloon. Now, what did they do 9/11? We couldn't go straight into damn Iraq and invade those 7 countries without having the people's support.
Well, I see
All
where you're
right.
going with this. Go ahead.
All right. Now, the balloon comes over, whether Joe Biden knew about it. We don't know if it's a Chinese balloon other than what our administration is telling us. So they let it fly over the entire country so a lot of people could see it and they could develop outrage. Then all of a sudden, we had like 4 or 5 other balloons. NORAD has never in the history of NORAD shot down any aircraft over American soil, ever.
Right.
Now we shot down one in the Atlantic and what, 3 or 4
Yeah.
over the land?
That's
Really?
what I've heard.
Come on. All right. Now, I personally believe,
It's another false flag.
well, it's setting up to be a false flag. I believe that the balloons were released by the country. I believe that the balloons have been used for many, many decades. So it's
Mhm.
not new technology. I think that the balloons are going to be a delivery system. I think that the deep state is so hell bent on this one world government that what's going to happen is I think that there's going to be an EMP delivery
With
from
a
a balloon
balloon.
or some type of other craft similar. I believe that when that happens, everything in this country in less than probably, I would say less than 48 hours. First 24 hours, people are going to be like, well, they'll get the power going again. Okay. Less than 48 hours, you're going to have a complete social breakdown, a societal breakdown like nobody has ever seen in this country.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, after that happens, who are the world police? The UN.
UN.
All right. Now, let's say they do an EMP, they take out societal norms, break down, people go batshit crazy, start attacking each other. They call the UN in for support. The UN, the first thing they're going to do is go door to door and they're going to start trying to confiscate people's guns. First thing. That is the very first thing they're going to do. All right. So they have just knocked out 2 things at once. They have destroyed the fabric, and plus where we are right now, everybody's so divided. If that shit goes south, I guarantee you the people that truly hate, and there are people that truly hate in this country, those people that truly hate are going to be targeting certain people. We are going to see some very heinous crimes at a very quick pace right off the bat.
Which is the reason for the open borders.
Well, yeah, and I think we got a lot of sales that have been let in. What I mean by that is too many train derailments. We've already seen in Kissimmee, Florida, that was when I was down there, that damn plastic pot plant caught on fire, burned 5 acres. I think that they've got cell networks, terror networks that have been let in. I think they were let in, not just, oh, they came in over the border and we don't know. I think they were probably guided in. I think they probably had points of contact inside the continental U.S. I believe that they probably received marching orders. I believe the government was probably in contact with them or people in the government. And I believe that they had detailed plans on things to hit.
Well, that makes sense because Senator Hyde Smith and Senator, what's her name from Alabama? The 3, not senator, I'm sorry, the representatives, the 3 women representatives that are working on this bill that'll do something about the border anyway. When they went down to visit the border, they specifically talked about how the cartel was keeping our border patrol tied up.
Yep.
So when they get the cartel's got people stationed all along the border to watch. when the border patrol is tied up and in their offices doing paperwork, they start sending groups in. So that would make sense because they're not even gotaways. They're just not even seen.
Well, which falls in the gotaway class, but yeah. And
But that would fall in line with what you're talking about with the cells here in America because those are the people that don't want caught. They have specific orders when they get here what to do at certain times.
yeah, but I believe it's coordinated. Everything off of the border, I believe these balloons, I believe these most recent incidents, uh, all these chemical leaks and shit, fires. I believe all of this stuff is coordinated.
Those are distractions.
It's they are and they're not. The distraction part is because I think there's a lot of political shit that's going on around Biden. I think they're scampering, trying to cover up certain actions like Ukraine and sending money over there. But I think that even that political stuff, to be perfectly honest with you, it serves a purpose. One of the purposes, I mean, World Economic Forum has said it a million times if they've said it once. Russia and America stand in the way of their objectives. Now,
They've
they
been
have
saying
to
that since
get
the early 1900s.
okay. Now, think about it. Russia and America are the two nations that stand in their way.
Right.
So, America is run by the city of London and the deep state.
Right.
Okay. Well, we're going to keep sending money, arms, talking Ukraine out of doing peace deals, and we're escalating that war constantly. Well, the war isn't really as much between Ukraine and Russia. It's between America and Russia. America
Right.
is just using Ukraine. I mean, they've already said they'll support them as long as it takes. Well, what that translates to is until the last breath is taken out of the Ukrainian people, until they're all slaughtered and dead. Okay,
Which is ultimately what's going to happen because Russia's not going to lose that war. But
but it's
it's going
used
to
as an
put us
escalating
against
tactic.
Russia. Yeah, it's going
It's
to put
used
us
as an
against Russia.
everything has been done as an escalation. Putin said just this week, I think, maybe at the end of last week, that if the West sends like F-16s or any fighter jets, that is the final line in the sand.
Yep.
That's it.
And Putin's going to stick to that too. He really
Yeah.
doesn't have a choice.
No, he's been goaded into this war.
Yep.
I mean,
And this
so
is the war that would bring Russia and America to arms at each other. But we don't have anything to
see,
fight with anyway.
no, we've already sent it all over there and we've abandoned all of it in the Middle East. But see, I think both things are one, what appears to be tragic events or bad mishaps are obviously distractions, but what they're distracting the people from, people are still aware of. And I think the irresponsible and the profuse hemorrhaging of money in Ukraine, the purpose of that, one, is to deplete our military and to destroy our dollar. Where did he get the 500 million give them? Where did he get the 90 or over 100 billion that we've already given them?
198 billion.
So the money has been printed out of thin air.
Yep.
Okay, that the money isn't backed by anything. So the money is no good, but it's just putting us more in debt. Okay. So if you think about how to destroy America, one, you've already divided the people. Two, you have to destroy the economy. Okay. You have to.
Well,
Well,
that's being done now.
that's right. I think a lot of this Ukraine thing is by design, destroying the economy. I think the open borders is by design to allow certain people in here that intend to do harm in this country.
Well, that is true, but that's already being done just by letting all these people in to destroy the very identity of this country.
but it's a destabilizing tactic.
Right.
What they do is they're going to create chaos in places that typically do not have chaos. Your blue cities are already violence ridden, crime ridden.
Right.
You look in your conservative areas, sure, there's crime, but most people are fine letting their kids play outside or go to the store send mama to the store. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's still relatively safe America. Well, if you look at the things that have happened, you've got train derailments all over the freaking country. You've got the derailment in Ohio. That's a conservative place. You got the plant down in Kissimmee, Florida,
Very conservative
conservative
place.
place. You got the tanker wrecked and spilled out in Texas,
Oh, yeah, I've
conservative
heard about that.
place. You have all of these things happening in areas that are generally classified as a stable area. Well,
But they're doing that to destabilize what is known as stable.
right. And what happens when you destabilize is no different than the brown shirts. What they did was they instilled fear. It's just like January 6th guys that are sitting in jail for
Mhm.
2 freaking years over what maybe misdemeanor trespassing at the most.
At the most,
Uh,
at that.
well, maybe some vandalizing. I'm sure there were people there that
Well, I'm
did
saying
some
that there's
vandalizing.
people still sitting in jail right now in what you call the gulags in DC that never even entered the White House. They were just there.
Yeah, some of them weren't even there.
Yeah.
But okay, so that was a message to other people. The message is, do you think you want to come together in masses and express your opinion against the state? We're going to
Damn
lock
right.
your ass up.
Lock me
So
up.
what it does is it discourages a lot of people from large gatherings to protest. All right. That's a sense of destabilization. The same thing is going on with all these mishaps around the country and these relatively conservative areas. You have people that have lived in communities for years and years and years with a certain level and expectation of security and safety and so forth. Now they are starting to acquire a sense of tragedy, in a sense, mass tragedy. Okay, the destabilization part is a psyop in the sense of, you control people through fear.
Right.
Once you start to inject fear into a once stable population, you will see these people deteriorate as a society. The citizenship of that society, you will start seeing people turn on each other. You will start seeing other things happen. And a lot of times it's based on fear, which drives to desperation, which leads to some type of a criminal act. So the destabilization of the country is very important. I think that's the purpose of the southern border
Yeah.
more than it is. Because, realistically, and no shit. Realistically, we could gather every motherfucker up in this country that ain't got a green card, that has not been naturalized. We could deport.
Most of
They
there's
might,
been millions of them should have been deported already, ordered by judges, but they hadn't been deported.
yeah, but it could be done. It could be done.
Yeah.
Okay. So the altering of the society, that is also a plan. That's part of that one world government shit, no borders. But part of that is, yes, to break the identity down. But they understand the Constitution is the greatest defense that we got. In that Constitution, we got the freedom of speech, hence January 6th, incarceration of all those people, discourage people. Then we got the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. The right to bear arms is one of the biggest things that they've got to be able to get rid of in order to take our country. Now,
Well, they
the
have to take that because
destabilization,
that just removes our defense. That just removes any type
right?
of defense this country has against anything like what we're facing.
Yeah, because look, if you were to say, okay, our volunteer military, what do we got? About 1 million people in it, roughly,
Roughly,
give or
yeah.
take,
They haven't been
about 1
purged
million.
completely out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, yeah, and it's probably under 1 million right now. But I'm saying between all the branches, we got roughly 1 million volunteer service. All right. if you look at it on the world stage, that's relatively, I mean, it's a good sized military, but there are militaries that are way bigger. All
Namely
right,
China's.
right. Okay. Now you have to take into consideration with the Second Amendment. It's no different than what the general told the emperor in Japan. You do not want to invade America. There's a gun behind every blade of grass.
That's
Now,
right.
you take the active duty, the inactive, and the reserves. We're going to say 1 million. Then you take what, 180 million in the country, at least.
You're talking just veterans, right? Because I mean,
No,
you
I'm
still,
talking. Well, I mean, out of 300, we're going to still say 320 million because sure, there's more than that in this country, but they ain't legal. Okay, let's say out of 320 million, I would say we probably have what, 180 to maybe 220 million people that are honest to God, law abiding weapons owners.
yep.
There's
And
400
those,
million. There's 400 million weapons in this country, legally owned. There's
that's if
over
you
a
just,
billion rounds.
but
Okay.
you're just talking about one weapon per individual. I mean, dude, in the military, we carry more than one weapon each. But I mean,
Yeah, but dude, I don't know anybody that's got one gun. I don't
either.
know anybody that's got
If
one.
if they got
Everybody I
one
know
gun,
that's
that's
they got like 30.
yeah. I mean, it's like the internet's got two-step verification for two-step
It
verification.
ain't one.
And everybody that owns a gun has a verification that first gun's going to work, and if it doesn't, I got backup.
Yeah. So, and then I mean, the people that I know, if their neighbors ain't straight, they can come to my house to get one. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it.
With a
That's just
backup.
America.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just America.
Yep.
So, if you take our existing military, roughly 1 million strong, give or take, then you take 175 to 2.25 million. We have the largest standing army on the planet.
Yep.
And this is the thing also that a lot of countries fail to understand about America. It has very little to do with tactical training from the military. Out of all the nations in this world, America is really one of the few that has the mass population able to purchase, own firearms. The UK can own a firearm, but they've got a process they got to go through. Typically, it's just a shotgun, and it's for hunting. So
Well,
you don't have a
Australia cannot.
shitload. Yeah,
Australia
well, I
can't
know.
own guns. I mean, they're
But see, this is what people fail to understand about the American gun owner. 9 out of 10 American gun owners, and I'm pulling this number out of my ass because I would say 9 out of 10 redneck motherfuckers that I know. I'm saying 9 out of 10. I know how many rednecks. I know a shitload, and not all of them are rednecks. A lot of them are businessmen that I know. You know, a lot of them are administrators of hospitals and shit. But these motherfuckers, they spend so much time at the deer camp. These motherfuckers are duck hunting, deer hunting, hog hunting. They hunt
Quail hunting.
everything. All right.
yeah. And if they can
Now-
shoot a small target, you can bet your ass they can shoot you.
Well, not just that. Not just that. These motherfuckers will spend more money than I make in a year for shit that will make them disappear in the woods and it'll take
Yep.
their scent away. All right.
Yeah.
Now, people need to remember history. America, the oldest fighting unit in this country, an organized unit, which back then it was and it wasn't organized, but it came out of the militia, and it was the U.S.
Minutemen.
Army Rangers.
Yep.
The U.S. Army Rangers, that was where they were born out of,
Yep.
okay, was the militia. The
The
militia,
original guerrilla warfare.
that's
Yep.
right. We wrote the book on it. Now, we didn't write the book on it because George Washington sat some motherfuckers down around the campfire and said, this is the tactic we're working on.
Learned it as they went.
He got a bunch of fucking people that was out there popping squirrels and possums and raccoons,
Yep.
and they implemented their bushcraft. Now, we've had 250 roughly years to improve that skill.
Oh, yeah.
And it, like I said, it ain't military tactics that make a soldier lethal. It is tactics. But the motherfuckers in this country, they live that shit. I don't give a shit if you hunting a man or you hunting a fucking bear.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's just how it's done. And you know what? The UN has to take our weapons. I believe that those balloons are some type of a delivery system. I believe that the open borders is designed so that we can get sales of individuals to destabilize certain communities. I believe that Ukraine is to escalate a war between Russia, a hot kinetic war between America and Russia. And I
While
also
depleting
believe
our
that
economic system.
That's right. Destroying our economic system and the military. Now, that's another thing. Now, granted, we got to have motherfuckers make rounds for us. But this is my message to the world. This is my view. And I'd be willing to bet that there's a shitload of American citizens that think the way I don't care if I've only got 1,000 rounds. You come invade me, I'm going to have a small cluster of motherfuckers. We ain't going to just wipe you out. We're going to strip your body. I'm taking your fucking boots, your pants, your hats, your jacket.
Your rounds of weapons, everything.
Your ammo. I'm taking your fucking water, iodine tablets.
Everything.
And if you got some glasses, if you got prescription glasses, I might take them motherfuckers too.
Yep.
But I guarantee you, you will be a naked corpse, and I'm going to own everything that you walked in here with. So believe this. I ain't the only one that feels that way.
That's right.
Now, sure, we need somebody like Remington or whoever to continually make us some bullets. But that's another beautiful thing about America. We got a lot of motherfuckers here with reload tapers.
Well, that's it, folks. Another episode of time. I know you hate it, but we got some more coming. Just hang out and keep looking for them. Don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section, and also find us on Facebook, True Social, and most other social platforms. Don't forget to review our podcast from there. Until next time, on behalf of Patrick and myself, we are the Constitution Commandos, and we're signing out.